everybody. I hope you are doing well. Had a great Thanksgiving. Today I wanted to talk about element 22 in the life book. It's called Creating Optimal Well-Being. So element 22. So he starts out by talking about like this picture of our life, and so like wake up and rush because we press the snooze button, get some coffee, quickly pack our lunch, get our kids off to school, go through the morning meetings, all of this, have an afternoon crash where we're so tired and we're not getting things done at work, come home, rush and get the kids to practices and homework and all of that, cook dinner, finally sit down and watch a little bit of TV, all to just do it again the next day. And then you're talking about the weekend and Saturday's chores, Sunday you sleep in a little bit, you may go to church, you're sort of gearing up for the week, you finally sit down at night to catch a little TV, and that's when it hits you that you've got to do it all over again. I mean, this is kind of the life that we create for ourselves a lot of the times, just go, 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 striving for what, And so this element really is trying to hone in on what really matters. Not what does society say really matters, but what really matters to you. Which is such an interesting question. I think we don't really think about it. But if we can figure out what really matters to us, then that can drive what we do and the decisions that we make and the goals that we set, and we don't have to live in such a chaotic state. It talks about this failure to succeed continuum. This is on page 443. It's really cool. So you've got failure on one side and success on the other, and it's a chart from 1 to 10. And so basically you are to plot, what are you? What do you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, failure versus success? And then there's a vertical continuum, which is the depression versus fulfillment. Fulfillment's up at the top, depression is down at the bottom, and it's a scale from 1 to 10 going up from 1 to 10. And you rate, fulfillment versus depression, where you fall on that scale, okay? And then basically you bring those two together, right? And so you've got 4 different quadrants, and you can basically figure out your well-being chart. Like, where do you fall on that chart? Are you content? Are you burned out? Are you worn out? Are you thriving? And so not only are you seeing like what really matters to you, but by doing that, those continuums, you're seeing like, where are you? Like, what is your reality and where do you want to go? We've done that in elements before, where we're basically bridging that gap between our reality and our future self. This is very similar, but it's like, what really matters? What really matters to you versus what is your reality? What are you saying really matters to you, right? Talks about flexibility. You got to be flexible in so many things, because the reality is if we're not flexible with ourselves in different areas, then we're very rigid, and then we'll pick up old habits because we'll feel defeated. So have flexibility in yourself. So an example they talked about in the book is this guy named Sam. So basically Sam is overworked. He already doesn't have a bunch of time with his family, but he's doing well. He really wants this Porsche. And his boss is getting ready to sell his Porsche. And so Sam's thinking, okay, if I pick up some more accounts at work, I could pay for the Porsche and I could drive it, and that would be really awesome. Okay, so what does Sam really want? Does Sam really want a Porsche, or does Sam really want quality family time? Because they're two very different things and they require two different things, right? If Sam wants quality family time, he's not going to want to take on another account because that will give him less time with the family. If Sam truly, really wants that Porsche, then he knows what to do. But the reality is, a lot of the times, I think when we think about what do we really want most, sometimes we are thinking of material things, but that's not the reality, right? Because if Sam was driving around that Porsche, that would give him instant gratification. It would feel really good. But ultimately, I think he'd be super sad because he would be neglecting his family and wouldn't be spending time with them. So thinking through that lens of like, is this a material thing or is this like an internal thing that I really want, can help you kind of get to the answer to that question, because that can be a hard, deep question. But the cool thing about it is that once you know what you really want, things that used to bug you don't really bug you anymore because you're focusing on that goal. You're focusing, like, you have clarity. You know what you're shooting for, what you really want. And so the things that used to bug you and get in the way, it don't matter so much anymore because you are laser focused on where you're going and what you want and getting that. So it can be a really peaceful place when you know what you want and what you're striving for and what's super important to you. So anyway, like I said, that's element 22. I would highly encourage you to be opening up this life book, be getting in this life book. It is such an amazing resource. And I know I've said this before, but I went to, I think it was Staples or Office Depot, maybe Staples, and I had them bind this. It's so much easier to flip through and navigate through. So challenge you to open this book up every day if you can, even if it's just 2 minutes, 5 minutes a day, 2 pages, whatever you need to set a goal for yourself. I hope you're having a great week, and I'll talk to you later.